first and 10. McDonald. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. Second and 3. Now a carry for the former Michigan State man, Le'Veon Bell. And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up. To avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. Out of the gun, McDonald. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. That, Charles, the first interception he's thrown here in year number 2.
And I know it's just the first one, but didn't it feel like what we saw from him last year, where he was plagued by this type of a play? And they thought that, over the offseason, going into a second season, some of that would go away. Thus far, still looks a lot like his rookie year.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 44. A first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Dalvin Cook just so explosive in the open field. He's not a small guy either, but once he gets those legs churning, look out.
There's an old chestnut of an expression called getting on your horse. And I hate to use it, but I'm going to right here because it absolutely applies. How about the head of steam he had behind him? And he was absolutely galloping downfield. That was something to see.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one better than 20 miles an hour. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. 1st and 10 right at the 20. And it's caught. And the Vikings are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. 1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. They'll run for it with Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead.
Makes the score Vikings 7, Bears 0.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. This is Bell. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's McDonald. That is caught by Cohen. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in this 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. It means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
At the 34-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Cousins. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards.
31-yard line.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. A give to Cook out of the gun.
Cousins.
He was brought down by Michael Davis.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Setting up the screen for Cook. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a 1st down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensing the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 1st quarter. On 2nd down, Cook. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It appears he'll be a few inches short, so 9 yards on the gain officially, and it'll be 3rd down. 3rd and inches, and they've got some extra beef up front. 3 tight ends. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's able to pick up the 1st before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll give them a fresh set of downs. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll run with Cook. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
And a nice job defensively to keep him out of the end zone. He was trying to get a second touchdown already in the first half.
They had that one earlier, was bidding for a second. Second and goal from the 1. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Bell. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Now on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Operating from the gun, McDonald. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Now this throw caught left side, and they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
Oh, that was a nice job there, quarterback and receiver, reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage, got right into his route, and the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense, because in a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block would be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And a big loss here as he's taken down. It's Khalil Mack that time, shooting in there to get him to the ground. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
After the sack on first down, Cousins past the 20. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adam Thielen, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And if you're wondering how fast he was going, Next Gen Stats clocked him at close to 21 miles an hour. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
He was brought down at the 28.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. Throwing on first down. McDonald. Pass incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. McDonald. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 28. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards the 2-minute warning. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, McDonald. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Game clock at 2:01. Time for one final play before the 2-minute warning. To throw again, McDonald. And down inside the 15 he goes. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
To throw on 2nd down. McDonald. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. And Daniil Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Throwing on 3rd and long. McDonald. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
So they do get the 3 points before they hit halftime. Something to build on, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? But wave the flag. That's good. Got points. And now, as you said, they've got something to build on as they get ready for the second half.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Play action now. Cousins. This one brought in by Jefferson. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
On first down, McDonald gonna let one fly for Robinson. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. operating from the gun. McDonald to the goal line, but it's incomplete. Cole Kmet, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
It's second down and 10.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. Throwing again. McDonald into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Jeff Gladney. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Taken about 7 yards deep. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
Yeah, now they're just looking to add to that total. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
Cook following the penalty. Tackle made there by Bilal Nichols. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
On second and 12, Cousins looking here for Smith downfield. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down.
Third down and 12 yards to go.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he can run in the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
Over the middle to Smith. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10. Now Cook. Akeem Hicks that time on the tackle.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. The first down run got 5. Here's second and 5. Here's Cousins. And Rudolph handoff has it, the tight end. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 14. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They run it again with Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? They'll go again with Bell. And he powers his way up past the 30. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
From the gun on 3rd down. McDonald, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people are focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now, defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. They've got to try something because right now, they're just cutting them to shreds.
They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Cousins now. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Akeem Hicks gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also 4th down now. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Bell. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They go play action with McDonald. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Bell. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Le'Veon Bell, the ball carrier. Ryan Connolly on the tackle. A 3-yard pickup. And it's 3rd down.
The Bears on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, McDonald. And that is incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter and the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And that will be incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Takes this about 5 yards deep. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
Their own 16-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. Let's see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
The screen pass here to Cohen. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Matt Hawk now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Returnable here from the 38. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position, 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out. I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 2nd down, it's Cook, and he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 7.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
A 50-yard attempt.
And this one is right down Broadway. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Bell, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
From the gun on 3rd down, McDonald. And this will be caught by Mooney. And he will have the Bears' 1st down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
1st down, Bears.
On 1st and 10, McDonald. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Harrison Smith. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
Cook on the 1st down carry there as he works his way forward for a gain of about 4.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves. Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with He's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead. First down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back. But 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
On second down now, it's Cook. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Minnesota, they used a favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.